All right. If you've ever wondered about water, okay, and when I mean wonder about water, filtration, the cleanest water, I mean, like, we're bombarded with all types of plastic bottled waters, all different types of waters, where they come from, how pure they are, how free of contaminants. And I think you're looking for something that is pure, that is unadulterated, untouched. And water is one of the most precious elements that we have on this planet. And water is conscious. For the most part, water has been abused, misused, and people are totally confused, I think, when it comes to water, in my experience, right? I don't know about you. But what I find is that water that we drink, either hopefully not out of the tap here in the States, it's pretty bad. Municipal water is loaded with contaminants. You can look at total dissolved solvents, pharmaceuticals, agricultural chemicals, all kinds of things, right? Not only is it, bad for us taking internally, but even topically, right? We need shower filters. Some people have whole house systems, right? That they have to filter out all these contaminants, but then we need to remineralize the water. But what are the things that nobody really looks at, okay? Other than this company, which I'm going to talk about here, Analemma, is is really phenomenal. Okay, Analemma water. It's a wand. I'm going to show you the device here in a moment. But what I want to bring your attention to is when a lot of people talk about water and filtration and cleaning the water and getting rid of the contaminants, we're talking about the physical, the chemical, and the biological. Okay. But the one thing that drew me to this device that I find is, it's a standalone product. And I've not that I've owned, but I've done a lot of research on other vortexing devices, how they're developed, what they do. Um, the creator, a gentleman by the name of Dolph, Dolf, Zontigue, I believe is how you pronounce his name, Zantigue. Um, and Mario, I believe is his partner, came up. I think it took them like 14 years. I may misquote some things, but this device, this is it, comes in this, cool box here, right? It comes in just a regular container, and then this is a walnut container that it comes in. And basically, you unscrew it, and what you have in here is what's called mother water, okay? Takes 1 year to make this water. And this glass is 100% quartz crystal, so you have to be very careful with it. So what you're doing is you're putting it in liquid and swirling it very gently for about anywhere from 60 to 90 seconds. That's what I do. And then with the walnut case, you can actually screw this in so that you have more length here. So if you have a bigger, glass, I usually do it in a Pyrex and I vortex. It doesn't matter if you do it clockwise or counterclockwise, makes no difference. So what's the benefit, you're asking? A lot. And we're going to get into that. I'm going to try and make this short and sweet, and totally complete. But I've been using this for a number of years now. And the thing about water, it's literally a revolution in water treatment because, as it says, you know, water plays a key role in our biology, in our ATP, the mitochondrial function. This is just a few views of Dr. John Drouard, uh, just some of the testimonials, okay? But that always isn't enough to impress me, right? You can get doctors, athletes, everybody, but it really comes down to your experience with it. That's really, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. I found for myself with drinking spring water from different companies, I try to get things that are in glass. But here's some of the benefits of Analemma water. Okay, it increases cellular energy, revitalizes your immune system, anti-inflammatory, which everyone's got from electromagnetic fields, blue light, right? This stuff, Wi-Fi, dirty electricity. That's a whole other story. Restores the effects of your gut biome. Okay, body mind state coherence. So we have like, I don't say syntropy, but just the hemispheres of the brain working together, which is phenomenal. Okay, um, and the effects also of animals and plants Analemma has. And literally, this is where energy meets nature. And scientists have developed a procedure that infuses the water with the best kind of information, right? The one found in our planet's natural cycles, harnessing the power of nature. They created Analemma, the tool that transforms any water, okay, into a state of harmony and coherence, not chaotic water, okay? So what does it do? It increases cellular energy, ATP. That's crucial. That's so important. We need to have that. And a lot of water is loaded with deuterium. It's a heavy water. It doesn't even hydrate the cell at all, okay? So this isn't about changing your water so much as it is about revitalizing your water. I want to make that perfectly clear. Um, and I'm not against having filters. I think that's a great add-on to this. But wait, there's more to this. We're going to come by. So double-blind placebo-controlled clinical studies found people who consumed Analemma water daily for 2 months had a 20% rise in total adenosine triphosphate, okay, which is the powerhouse of the cell, ATP, mitochondrial function, okay? And there's more. You can go to the website. I'll have a link here. You can check. I mean, link is here. You can check that out and read more. There's plenty of science and data, which if you're like a gigabrain like me and you really love to dive deep, there's plenty on here. And so coherent water for a coherent body. The concept of a coherent water is often met with skepticism. How can changing the physical state of drinking water promote significant biological benefits? Right? Good enough question. So if we count all the molecules in the human body, we find that 99% are H2O. Water is an abundant medium that surrounds every molecule in every cell of our body. Isn't water then the ideal candidate for sending information through matter? Changing the energetics of our water means we're changing the energetics of ourselves, okay? And so when you're doing this, this is a really great review here. Analemma water visibly impacts the brain, how it does that. It was done with twins. You can read that here. There's a before and after right here, how it just awakens the brain. What I will tell you, my experience since doing this is I find that I do have more energy. What else? I just find even the flavor of the water. Now, you can do this with tap water. Um, that's one of the first things I tested this with. The second is I do get RO water or even spring water, and we'll vortex that water. Now, spring water coming from hopefully a healthy spring has those elements and the minerals already intact. But what this is again is doing is creating uh, more frequency. I'll even take the water and bring it outside. If it's in a glass bottle, I'll open the cap and allow biophotonic energy to charge the water, right, in that. And you can actually take the wand. I do this from time to time. I take the water and I just put it outside. I put it on like the ground under the canopy of under the sunlight for maybe 15 minutes just to charge it, right? And that is recommended by Dolph and their team. Okay, so that's what's so cool about this, among many things. And you can do this with any liquid, the orange juice, water, anything that's liquid, you could do this, okay? But this is also reversing, I wouldn't say reversing, but minimizing the aging process because you've got the cellular rejuvenation, regeneration process happening, which is amazing. And another article you can read. Now, here's the thing I want to tell you. What this device does that no other device that I've come across yet does. So you have filters that remove the physical, chemical, and biological. But what this does, and they've tested this, okay? I don't recall the devices. If you want to really get down to brass tacks and details on that, um, they it removes the energetic imprint. So say water has fluoride or chlorine or anything in it. That's the physical, chemical, biological component. But on the underneath of that, it has the energetic, because water holds the energetic imprint. So what this does is this makes the water tabula rasa, clean slate. It literally wipes out that memory, bringing the water into coherence, completely clean and clear. Okay. So now with your own energetics, your own whatever affirmations, the feelings, the emotions that you transmit to the water, the minerals that you add, okay, the electrolytes you add. I typically do that. I'll take like a big Pyrex bowl, I'll put my RO water or spring water in there, I'll add my magnesium or minerals or whatever I'm going to do, and then I vortex everything. I cannot tell you what a difference that makes. Now that's my experience. You may have the same or similar, or who knows. But I invite you to try it. The one that I have is the luxury walnut. That's about 250 almost, and then the regular one just comes with a metal case. And then they have a whole house system, a POE, point of entry. This is amazing. For that price, I mean, usually you buy whole water systems, they're several grand, right? You've got these alkaline water machines and all that other stuff, but it's not making the water coherent. It's still chaotic water, okay? Um, but even if you have, the reason I brought up the thing with the energy is because even if you have the biological, physical, chemical components within the water, you're clearing the energetic imprint. Okay, so as above, so as below, meaning that, let's say there's fluoride in the water, but the energetic component is now removed. So it's inert, it is inactive. So if you are in a shower, not shower, but if you're drinking water that has fluoride in it, right? But even if you are a shower, because that would require the whole house system, the point of entry, the whole house analemma. Um, I don't have that. I would like to get that soon. But this wand, I've had this now for like, I think 4 years. I had one previously that I dropped. I did break one, so you have to be very careful with them and, care for them. But to me, this is part of my health arsenal, and I try to do things that are as close to nature. There's a place for biohacking and stuff like that, but I find this very, very important and a necessary tool in today's world. And water is such an important element that we need in our bodies, right? And we need hydration and ATP and cellular rejuvenation and regeneration. And from there, you build a foundation, a strong foundation, and other things that you can do to enhance your overall health. So I've got a link here. You can check that out if you have any questions at all. There's a lot more. You can even do your own research on YouTube. Dolph is doing videos explaining some of the science. I mean, they've tested this over like, I think 10 or 14 years. And what happens is once you do the vortexing of the water, it's permanent. It doesn't like dissipate after like several months or a year. It's permanent. It's not lost. So that's what makes Analemma a standalone vortexing device that I find absolutely phenomenal. So I hope that gives you some insight and motivates you to give it a try. Let me know if you have any questions at all. And until the next one, have an awesome day.